Hello, everybody. My name is Dratnos, and welcome to my Season 3 recap, which is this cool RaiderIO feature that I'll put a link to if you want to go generate your own. But it tells you kind of all the stuff you did in Raid and M+ each season. And usually I like to make a little video going through this and talking about the season, the retrospective of it. So let's get started. So the first page we have here. Throughout the season, I've grouped with a total of 39 different specs. Every single one in Raid, and every single spec except for one in M+. Now, it doesn't tell me which of those is the one that I didn't do in M+. But yeah, you can see I have played with all the specs. A lot of Havoc Demon Hunters, a lot of Rep Pallies, actually. I suspect that a lot of these Rep Pallies are from, like, AOTC, like from Heroic Fire Rack kills. I did for a few weeks Heroic Fire Rack kills after my guild killed it on Mythic, but before we were farming it on Mythic, because we took a couple weeks off of actually doing Mythic Fire Rack, and I still wanted to, earn Legendary Bad Luck Protection. And those raids were like 18 Rep Pallies, 3 Holy Pallies, and then 2 Blood DKs or whatever, like every time. That was always the composition there. And then, yeah, a lot of Havoc, a lot of Beast Mastery, good specs this season, and, descending kind of as you'd expect. The specs I played with the least. Brewmaster, not super surprising to see, like Brewmaster, Guardian, Prot Warrior all near the bottom, because I also did a lot of tanking, right? I tanked in Raid a lot, and in M+ a reasonable amount, so tank specs in general I'm going to have played with less as a result. But then also Serve, AF, Ellie, Frost DK, Feral Druid, the kind of usual suspects of the less popular DPS specs, right? Like, compared to, say, Demo or even Destro, which are a lot more popular than AF this season. But overall, yeah, did play with every spec. Did play with every spec at least 4 times as well over the course of the season. My gear evolution, so this is my Death Knights gear, which spiked on... I don't remember ever using this Paracausal Fragment of Sessional. Yeah, this is an int trinket that I don't remember ever having this thing equipped. I also don't remember ever putting on a Agi Avoidance Witherbark's branch on this character, so this must be on a different character that this is looking at, because these are 2 non-DK trinkets, so I assume this was just some alt upgrade I made at some point in the season on, say, like a Druid or something that could use both of these, which maybe I did do, I don't know. But yeah, you can see the gear jumps from... So it got... I think one of the big things that this doesn't show is... This doesn't show the jump from week 0 to week 1, because already by the end of week 1, I was 473. If you remember at the end of Aberrus, right, we were eye level 448, 447, that kind of stuff was good eye level at the end of Aberrus. So in that first week, we are looking at a 25-point eye level jump, and then another 6 points on week 2, another 3 points on week 3, 1 point on 4, 2 on 5, and then the eye level actually stayed current. This was the week we killed Fire Axe, so my gear, stopped getting better at this point for a while until I made a couple more upgrades, and I don't even see when I got my Legendary on. I think it was after this, because I think I've had my Legendary for less weeks than this, so maybe that didn't even spike my eye level, I'm not sure. Okay, raid bosses defeated. Defeated 396 raid bosses, 174 on Mythic, actually more on Heroic, 183 on Heroic, and only 39 on Normal. On average, Mythic Raiders defeated 21 bosses, Heroic 34, and Normal 22. Interesting. I wonder if this is just like among all people that have killed at least one boss, right? Or all characters that have killed at least one boss, because I imagine that like a lot of those are going to be alts that are just killing a boss or two that are pulling that average way down. Because if this is like account-wide... Actually, maybe this is account-wide. I don't know. I guess all it takes is a couple of people. Like, every person that only steps into raid once is going to pull that average way down, though, which makes sense. But yeah, then we can see a little bit less of a degenerate curve. There have been some seasons where it's like if you go back to Vault of the Incarnates, first 2 bosses were just a huge spike, and then, like, Taros was just plummeted. Volcaros, I did kill a lot less than, Gnarlroot and Agira, which you'll note I have 1 fewer Agira kill than Gnarlroot. Maybe I just sat for a week on. I guess yeah, there were some weeks where we were sitting, but I do also remember we had one alt raid where we killed Gnarlroot, and it was this was our very first week of starting our alt raid. Gnarlroot was hard, and Agira we like wiped to, and it was like, okay, our damage is actually really suspicious. Let's just go home. Let's try this again next week. Everybody's still in Aberrus gear and not ready to do this just yet. So on a second thought, let's come back in a future week. But then yeah, so Volcaros and Laridar in particular. Laridar least killed boss aside from I guess Fireack, which only killed 10 times, but Laridar 13. We killed the Council and Naimu wing more often, although 4 times we killed Council, but not Naimu, which wasn't because these bosses were like more fun than Volcaros and Laridar. If anything, I think they were less, especially Council, but Council had good trinkets, it had that fist weapon, so this was a popular boss that people wanted to kill for gear. And then, of course, pretty often we just skipped both wings and we went Gnarlroot, Agira, Smolderon, Tindral, Fireack, which you can see there are some weeks we did some of those bosses, but not others as well. Or 4 times we killed Tindral, but not Fireack. A couple of those were going to be, I guess one of those was on progression. And then 3 weeks we didn't do Fireack after killing Tindral, either intentionally or because we wiped a Fireack. At least once we wiped a Fireack for a while and we were like, okay, whatever, we're going home. Okay, total live tracked pulls for first boss kill on each difficulty. So, and then what boss do you have our closest wipe on was a heroic Smolderon with 0.15% health. It's always nice whenever this is a heroic boss and not a mythic boss that you have this stat on. Because mythic bosses, you're this low on a mythic boss, that puts you on very sad, very, very big tilt. Okay, so 1 pull on Gnarlroot on all difficulties, Agira. 2 pulls on Heroic Volcaros. Heroic Volcaros we wiped on. 2 pulls on Mythic Council. We wiped on Mythic Council. I'm actually... We didn't kill these bosses in that few pulls, I'm pretty sure. So I think that just not all of them are being tracked by RaiderIO. But yeah, then, okay, Smolderon. Yeah, this is definitely not accurate. We definitely took more than 23 pulls to kill Smolderon. Certainly took more than 151. We took 420 pulls to kill Tindral Sage Swift. Yeah, so, okay. This is just, not all of our pulls were being logged, I guess, or were being tracked on RaiderIO, so that is that. I guess the accurate number. We logged everything in Warcraft logs, but I guess not everything onto RaiderIO. Raid progress duration, so I suspect that this is also then going to be underestimating total time in all these difficulties. But yeah, of course, 1 reset for normal and heroic, right? Like a couple, I guess. Oh, okay, this will be accurate because this is just counting the days from them opening. So yeah, we didn't clear normal until Wednesday. We didn't clear heroic until also Wednesday. Because we took Tuesday as an M+ day this season, which I actually don't think was the right play because normal and heroic Amir were actually so easy by comparison to previous raids. They were like very, doable at 450. More than I was expecting. I was expecting like, hey, if we do M+ for a day on Tuesday and we come into the raid at 465, like we will be able to save progress time on Heroic Fireack. Turns out that really wasn't necessary, so probably was a little bit inefficient to do it this way. But that was what we did this season. And then, yeah, 25 days, 5 resets on Amir Mythic. Pretty good, 25 days on Prague, 5 resets, and then out of there, get that Helm enchant, send Fireack home. Very happy with how that went. And top bosses by live tracked time spent. This, I think, will be an underestimate because this is powered by the live tracking, which we know missed pulls. So I'm pretty sure we spent more time on these bosses than this. Mythic Plus key progression. So this is highest key timed each week across the entire season. Pretty quickly, yeah, second week I did a 25. I don't know why I did a 25, because these weeks, right, these first 5 weeks were just farming for gear, so mostly was just doing 21s, 22s, 20s on those weeks. Then we killed Fireack, and for a few weeks just kind of chilling, doing a bunch of alt keys. Did another random 25, and I think I DPS'd this one. I think I remember this key in January, and then... Yeah, I don't remember why I did these 27s here, and then towards the end of the season actually pushed some IO, including a 30 back a month ago now, so that was my progression. Looks like you could change this to each dungeon as well. So you can see all the different spikes on the different affixes as well. So pretty cool. Then we have Altaholic. I ran Mythic Plus on all 13 classes and 22 specs. Most played actually was Blood DK, which I did 70 runs on. This wasn't the class or spec that I pushed on. I pushed on Og Evoker, which I ended up doing 55 runs. But Blood DK was what I was gearing at the start of the season with M+, so actually I did more runs on that than I did on my title push on Augmentation Evoker. Then did a few Vengeance keys, a few Prop Pally keys, actually 13 Outlaw keys. I had a lot of fun doing some Outlaw this season. A little bit of Prop Warrior 11 on Aflock, much to the chagrin of the people that I keyed with. A little bit of Bear Key, Ellie Shaman, Brewmaster, Frost Mage, BM Shadow, Resto Druid, Unholy DK, Fire Mage, Feral Druid, Ret Pally 2 runs, Resto Shaman 2 runs. I did 2 runs as Resto Shaman. Oh my god, I remember those. Yeah, those were cursed beyond belief. Just basically no healer runs. And then a run each on Fury, Havoc, and Devastation Evoker. So yeah, I didn't get every spec, but I got more than half of them. So that's pretty good. Next season, I'm going to try and do all of them. I'll try and do at least a key on everything. Top Mythic Plus comp. Now here we innovated. Wowee. We played Vengeance Demon Hunter, a little known tank spec. Disc Priest was actually a little bit off meta this season compared to, I mean, it's one of the good healers, right? Alongside Resto Druid, Mistweaver, one of the popular ones. Og Evoker, that was me. And then Destrolock Ret Pally was actually the most common DPS comps that we ran. I did sort of a bunch, a kind of smorgasbord of keys with a bunch of different people and comps. But yeah, this was the most popular one. Also played with, Moonkins and mages filling in here, Demo Lock as well as Destro, depending on the keystone. So not anywhere near as fixed of a comp as last season, except for the Vengeance Demon Hunter, which I think I did almost exclusively Vengeance Demon Hunter keys. I didn't really group with any other tanks this season. Most run dungeons. Everbloom was the one that I spent the most time in, mostly because I was helping people get their trinkets. Everbloom had at least one good trinket, had Leaf, that I helped several people farm over the course of the season. So yeah, spent a lot of time in there. Ataldazar, Darkheart. Least popular was Rise, which is good. Rise, never three chests of Rise. Left that key alone. And closest key was only 13 seconds away. That's not even... Wait, is this 13 seconds? Yeah, 13 seconds and a third. And the fastest key was a 20 Ataldazar done in under half time. Okay, here's my IO score evolution. You can see pretty quickly gets up to 2.7 just from doing like every key on a 20, 21. A couple higher keys than that in the first few weeks. Score barely moves until the title push time, where it is now. We got to the 36.75, thought that was probably going to be safe. Turns out that's not safe. So last week I upgraded like a 26 so that I could get 36.81. And then this week I did one more key to get up to 36.92, which should be safe. That should be fine. Maybe 36.81 would have been as well. I'm not sure. It's right now, at the time of recording, the title is at 36.79. So I wasn't feeling comfy on 36.81. I ran 272 dungeons this season for 4 days, 16 hours, and 18 minutes worth of M+. This seems like a lot. That's actually not like a lot for me in a season. That's kind of a small amount of keys for me compared to some seasons where I have gone hard and done a lot of M+, but you can see a lot of these weeks, right? Like my score didn't move, didn't actually do keys every week. And then the Og Evoker title push was a lot of keys were like one and done, right? I did 55 total keys on that character this season, and 30 of those were like gear up keys before actually doing the push keys. So got done with that pretty quickly. Didn't end up spending as much time in keys. I think I would have spent more. I actually don't know what would have caused me to spend more time in keys this season. Like, it wasn't a bad season. Wasn't always Avenged Demon Hunter to play with, and I didn't play with a lot of people that wanted to play with other tanks. I didn't really want to tank keys this season either, because I didn't really want to play Vengeance too much. I wanted to play like a different tank. I like Vengeance, but I don't know. I didn't really want to do that. Hard to kind of explain why, but that was my feeling with the season. So we'll see if things change next season. It looks like they're maybe not going to do any tank tuning, so Maybe not, in which case. I'm actually not even sure I want to play Og next season either, because I don't have the legendary, and I'm not sure I want to get it. So we'll see. We'll see what the M Plus looks like next season. Maybe I'll just take a season off of going for title. We'll see. Okay. Mythic Plus Buddies. During Season 3, pushed with 249 other characters. Here's the top 5. These 4 were the people I did most of my... Actually, these 3 are the people I did most of my push keys with. And then Falconron, that's Falcaron's Hunter alt that he was playing for a while in the season. And old Parse always loves doing keys. Every day you've got a ping from him in some channel that just says keys, ? So that's why he's there. And that is it. That's the Season 4 recap. For Season 3 recap, rather. I will send everybody, or in the description below of this video, the link to go and make your own of these if you want to take a little trip down memory lane. But yeah, cool little feature. Always fun to look and see. And it's nice, it's nice to look back at the season with this. So hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.